There are things that move us that we never actually see. Gravity, time, memory. The pulse that keeps us here even when we're not sure why. We live our lives suspended in the invisible, carried by forces that don't need proof to exist. Most of the things that have shaped me never had a face. They were moments, songs, a line from a movie that found me at exactly the right time. I think about that a lot, how the unseen holds everything in place, like the silence between notes that makes the melody work, or the space between stars that lets light breathe. Sometimes I wonder if that's what faith really is. Not religion, not certainty, just the quiet agreement to keep believing in what you can't name. This is Z and Cruz, and this week's episode is called The Silence of the Unseen. There are films I've carried longer than friendships, longer than time itself really. Scenes that live somewhere in my heart, still unfolding every time I close my eyes. They're not just stories, they're memories that never belonged to me, but somehow they still do. I've learned more about love, loss, and time from what was imagined than from anything the real world ever tried to teach me. Maybe that's the point, that the unseen is what makes the real possible. We don't have to see gravity to know it's there. We just feel its pull, quiet, constant, and impossibly patient. Maybe the same is true for everything that matters. This is the part of existence that doesn't photograph well, the unseen weight that holds us together, even when everything else falls apart. And if you listen closely, in the spaces between sound, you can almost feel it too. Lately I've been thinking about the quiet things that have followed me. The unseen ones that don't speak, they hum somewhere in the background of my existence. Nostalgia is one of them. It's a strange gravity. It keeps pulling us towards places that don't exist anymore, towards versions of ourselves we already outgrew but can't quite leave behind. Sometimes I'll put on an old song, something that once played in a car with the windows down as I drove the streets of my long-forgotten youth. And for 3 minutes I'm back there again. Not in body, but in texture. The air feels the same, the light remembers. It's like time agrees to bend, just a little, to let me visit what I lost, and what I miss dearly. Telly reruns do that to me too. There's comfort in their repetition. The idea that somewhere, these characters are still frozen in their best moments, untouched by what came after. Maybe that's why I keep returning to them, not to escape, but to remember who I was when I first believed the world would make sense, and to see the characters again that made me the woman I am today. I think every artist is haunted by the unseen. We feel it moving under our skin, memory, guilt, wonder, and we keep trying to translate it into something visible. Some people write songs, some paint. I write and create to catch the shadows before they fade. Grief is another weight I carry, that we all carry in some form, the kind that never really asks permission. It just moves in, rearranges the furniture, and teaches you how to live around it. But even grief has its own light. It reminds me that I once loved something enough to lose it. It gives us proof that we are alive, or maybe that we once were, long ago. I think that's what creation truly is, a form of remembering. We make things to prove that what we felt was real, that we existed in the spaces between. So when I write or re-watch a film from the 80s, or find a song that hurts in exactly the right way, it's not about nostalgia anymore. It's about staying connected to the unseen pulse that still believes there's meaning hidden somewhere in all this static, in all these algorithms, in all these never-ending trends, because even when the world feels silent, something in me is still listening, so I can be sure to write the story I was always meant to tell. Sometimes I think writing is just a kind of translation, a way to give shape to what doesn't want to be seen, but also must be given to the world. When I sit down to create, it never starts with plot or structure. It starts with a feeling that won't leave me alone. Something wordless, heavy, a shimmer under the surface that refuses to explain itself.
I've learned not to chase it too hard. The unseen hates being cornered. It's more like catching light in motion. You move gently, follow the reflection, and trust that meaning will appear if you stop trying to force it. That's what the Zepherous Chronicles became for me. A long conversation with the unseen. Every version of Zeph, every fractured timeline, they're all mirrors held up to the same invisible thing I keep trying to understand. Why we keep reaching for the light, even when we know it might burn us, time and time again. It's strange. People think fiction is about escaping the world, but to me it's about going deeper into it, into the feelings we can't name in daylight. Stories are where we meet the unseen halfway. They let us step inside our own ghosts and walk around a little. There are moments when I'm writing and I feel the same quiet energy that I do when a certain song plays late at night. It's not joy, not sadness. It's the sense that something understands me back. Maybe that's all I've ever wanted from art. To feel less alone in the space between what I feel and what I can say. And more importantly, what I can't say. Every story, every image, every fragment of dialogue, they're my way of talking to what I can't see, and what others can't see in me. Maybe you have your own way too. The unseen waits for all of us. We just choose different languages to answer it. We all carry the unseen, not just the memories that hurt to remember, but the quiet ones that never had a chance to happen, the lives we wished we'd had but could only imagine, the dreams we outgrew but never stopped loving. Sometimes I think the unseen isn't meant to be understood. It's meant to be felt, in the music that stops you mid-step, in the movie line that finds you when you need it most. It's proof that we're still alive enough to care, and maybe that's all any of us are trying to do, to find each other through the noise, or really find ourselves amongst our own ruins, to speak across the static of our own doubts, to keep believing that the invisible work still matters, even when it feels like no one will ever see it. That's the thing about the unseen weight. It asks you to keep showing up anyway, to do the work, to care, to tell the truth even when it trembles, and every once in a while, to celebrate the small wins that remind you it's all worth it. There's a line at the end of an episode of Scrubs called My Journey. JD says, "I'm always happy when someone wins a battle, because around here you get your fair share of disappointment. I guess in the end you have to fight for things that really matter, like pride in your work or your friendship. And sometimes all you can do is grit your teeth and tell the truth." That monologue has stayed with me for many years, because that is the weight of the unseen. The fight to keep believing in something no one else can see yet, the quiet victories, the invisible honesty, the faith that your work, your truth, might still reach someone someday. And if it does, that's enough to know the unseen isn't absence. Sometimes I wonder if the unseen is where the truth hides. In the pauses we rush to fill, in the moments we scroll past without noticing. We talk about big moments all the time, the milestones, the successes, the losses. But what really stays are the in-betweens. The long drives where no one says a word. The empty theatre after the credits have rolled. The feeling of a song still echoing after it ends. That's where I think the real stories live. In the aftermath. In the silence that follows the words we couldn't say. That's where the unseen waits for us to notice it. Not in the climax, but in the quiet fade-out after. Maybe that's why the things we love most feel timeless, because they live in that same space, the one between what happened and what it meant. And honestly, that's the point.
that even when the moment's over, its pulse keeps beating somewhere. Patient, unseen, still reaching for us. It's everything we're still becoming. While Don't Stop Believing plays quietly somewhere in the dark, unseen, unheard, the soundtrack to our journey. Maybe that's all we ever are, a flicker in someone else's favourite song, playing long after we're gone. Please check out your favourite bookstores worldwide for my book, The Zepherous Chronicles Rebirth. The second book, Cantera, is coming soon. This is Z and Cruz, reminding you to stay close to the echo. Bye for now.